Funding for the Trade Best Practice series is provided by the Benjamin Moore & Company Foundation in partnership with Teach Construction and through the generous support of PDCA sponsors and members. Let's talk about masking. Masking is a way of protecting a surface area from paint using tape and rolls of paper or plastic. Like taping, masking can help you paint more efficiently. A good rule of thumb, 1 hour of masking can save up to 8 hours of painting. I'm very serious about this. You may be tempted to just whip out the brush and go at it, but taking the time to tape and mask can save up to 8 times the work. By protecting surfaces and floors from spills and splatters, you reduce cleanup time. And the clean lines you get when you're done? Perfect. Okay, so there are different types of masking material. Plastic. There is thin plastic at 0.31 mil or painter's plastic, and it's often used to cover furniture. There's thick plastic at 4 mil or 6 mil, and this is good for protecting office partitions or warehouse floors. Paper. Smaller rolls are dispensed from a masking machine, and larger rolls are generally for protecting floors. Application. Using masking machines are the most efficient way to mask. Masking machines apply tape directly to masking paper or plastic rolls that go from 6 inches to 9 feet in width. Learning to use a masker efficiently is a critical painting skill. Drop cloths are another way to protect a large area from paint. If you ever hear the phrase, drop the perimeter of the main room, you'll know that you're being asked to cover the floor of the main room with a drop cloth. Let's practice. So if I said to you, drop the family room, you will know to do what? Right. You will know to cover the floor of the family room with a drop cloth. Great job, I think. Drop cloths come in all sizes from 5 by 5 feet to 12 feet by 15 feet, and the larger drop cloths are usually called tarps or tarpaulin. Pros generally prefer canvas because it's more durable and reusable. In addition to traditional canvas drops, new drop cloth materials include non-slip canvas, high-performance fiber, and super tough paper. These new and highly engineered products are durable, lightweight, and leak-proof, making a painter's day easier. While we're talking about not getting paint in all the wrong places, it's probably a good time to take a step back and talk about the really big picture, the earth itself. Paint in all the wrong places in that context means poison, hazardous waste. Paint in the wrong places literally poisons the ground, contaminates drinking water, and affects ecology. Bad stuff. It is our responsibility to dispose of paint properly and safely. For latex paint, that means paint needs to be dried out before it can be disposed of with normal trash. Latex paint is never poured into a dumpster in the backyard, etc. Very uncool. Leave the lid off when you empty a can of paint, so it will dry. Oil paint or solvent-based materials is always considered hazardous waste. It's generally being phased out of residential use, but still common in certain applications. Disposal is heavily regulated, very important, and a very big deal. Follow instructions on this, always. Okay, I think that's it. The rest we'll learn in the field. To the field! Almost anything you could tape, you can mask. When it comes to flooring, you can mask using red rosin paper or brown craft paper. Notice how both blue and white tape is being used. Blue tape is used on finished surfaces because there's less risk of damage and it can be left on longer before adhesive transfer becomes an issue. White tape with heavier adhesive is used as needed on top. Don't forget to mask around vents. It takes time, but ultimately saves more time than it takes. Each new area that you mask presents a different set of challenges, like masking around bathtubs. When it comes to windows, you'll mask both interior and exterior as the job requires. There's an art to masking around windows. Every company does it a little differently, but but the goal is a perfect seal that protects trim and glass from splatter or overspray. On commercial projects, masking windows follows the same basic principles as residential projects, but notice how they use wider film for masking, as it protects a larger area. You have to mask the entire window because you never know when a gust of wind will come up and blow paint across the surface. You'll often find yourself on a lift. You absolutely cannot forget your safety gear here. Take a look at this transition masking. When changing colors on substrates, the best way to create a clean line is to use the lines of the building. That way the completed color is protected before starting the new color. It's best not to let your masking sit for days. With freeze and thaw cycles, tape and masking are likely to melt and leave residue on finished colors or pull off the finish completely. Don't forget, what goes up must come down. Whatever you mask will need to be removed when the job is done. It's important not to get overspray on dock areas. Paint can collect in the corners, so masking them will save time and money. You may even mask things you never thought of before, such as fire wiring. Coaxial wiring shouldn't be painted. Before spraying kickers, you'll want to mask off the batt insulation. This particular insulation has a factory finish, and the paint on this project isn't suitable for adhesion. Trade best practices. Large objects. There are times when you'll have to paint around things that can't or shouldn't be moved. Things like office file cabinets, large furniture, or a shelf with breakable items. These items should be covered. Usually thin painter's plastic is the go-to material. First, it's always best to paper floor protection around the object. It makes for a tighter, more professional package. Painter's plastic usually comes in boxes, either 9 or 12 feet wide. Pull out more than you need, enough to cover the object loosely all the way down to the floor. Unfold the painter's plastic and drape it loosely over your object. Then, tape the plastic to the floor paper. You want to fold excess plastic under so the tape holds both the plastic and the floor paper, so no dust could possibly get inside. As you tape, be sure the plastic fits loosely over the object. A little give means the plastic won't tear. Masking doorknobs. Door handles or knobs can be masked efficiently or not. Tape is easy to put on, but slow to remove. Professionals are planning for removal while they mask. It's best to tape around the edge and then cover everything with paper or plastic. That makes removal fast and easy. Masking floor. Covering the floor is a key part of prep work. This can be done with drop cloths or even plastic in some situations, but here we're focusing on using masking paper. Paper is typically used for larger spaces or spaces that need a more custom-sized covering. It's easy and fun to quickly roll out paper with the curl up. However, this natural curl can often pull up tape, meaning you'll be retaping to keep the paper in place. This is not fun. It's best to install with a curl down as shown here, so everything stays in place. When taping, you want to use a few long strips of tape as opposed to a bunch of short ones. This will save you time in setup and teardown. Finally, make sure you run your fingers over all of the tape for good adhesion. Hanging loop. When masking off a long wall, you will likely have to move your ladder. Rather than cutting the masking material, it's best practice to use a hanging loop. This puts everything on hold while you move your ladder. Here's how. Pull off about 2.5 feet of masking. Make a small loop and hang the masking machine on the wall at an angle. That's important, because it allows you to apply masking in a single long piece. A single length is going to come off in one piece, and that's productive masking. Masking materials. There are many masking materials, and it's helpful to know which performs best in a certain situation. 12-inch masking plastic is durable and great for exterior use. It holds if it gets wet. 9-inch masking paper is a bit less costly and it's widely used for general masking. Very thin painter's plastic is great for protecting furniture or anything that's bulky from dust. Thicker plastic is ideal for erecting dust walls. Lightweight craft paper is inexpensive and is often used for covering floors, but it tears easily and just doesn't hold up under job site conditions. The new standard for floor protection is X paper, twice as durable as craft paper, and it's less costly and much easier to use than super heavy-duty cardboard. That stuff is made to handle forklifts and is just overkill for most painters.
Hi, my name's James White and I'm a supervisor for SPI Painting. I got into painting when I was 16 years old. I've been doing it ever since. I'm going on 24 years this coming January. Just stayed with painting because I'm good at it, but I like it because it keeps me busy.
Next up, Huddle Up and PPE. Okay, that's just the intro sentence. That's it. None of this flows to me, but I just... Hey!